Alright, welcome, and here's a quick demo of using Power BI with Dynamics 365, and this demo is focused for non-profits. So if you look in right now, I'm logged into Dynamics 365, and instead of my standard dashboards, I'm able to look at a Power BI dashboard. In this case, I'm looking at my donations. I'm able to understand things like my key influencers, what are my top segments, go into the details of the various segments. I can go down a specific area, so donations versus grants, and what are my segments in those individual areas. I'm able to use the capabilities of auto ML, key influencers that are available in Power BI with Dynamics 365 data. Let me look at another example in here, more targeted towards customer satisfaction and service departments. And in this case, again, I'm able to look at what influences my customer satisfaction to increase or decrease. And again, in this case, in a real-time perspective, looking at the data, I'm able to understand that when people start a conversation through chat, that increases the customer satisfaction for them. Whereas if they're asking questions about logins, then they're not too happy. So let's go in deeper, and you can see at any point I can go inside Power BI to look at things in a little more detail. So I will do that, and now I'm looking at Power BI, wherein I have access to a lot more information. I can go inside my individual areas, understand my revenue that's coming in, or my donation pipeline. But then I could also look through and just move over to things like Power BI Q&A and ask questions using natural language queries. In this case, show me the revenue in pipeline by campaign. Maybe what will be better is if we start making one of these from scratch. In my case, now I'm going to jump over to the free Power BI desktop application, and what we'll do is start creating some of these beautiful dashboards and charts from scratch. So come in here, and I've just created a new page, and in this particular page I'm going to start creating and bringing in the data that I have. On my right hand side, I can look at the filters, visualizations, as well as the fields. So I've gotten my data from Dynamics 365 come in here already. You do have the option to bring in data from lots of different data sources, and including of course Common Data Service and Dynamics 365 and other online services as well. So I have the data in here already. So let's say let's start with a service scenario, wherein maybe I'll just bring in a simple stack bar chart and make this a little bit bigger, and I'm going to look at the agents with the case count. So this is giving me a little bit of information, but I want to go in and maybe also add in another chart in here, which is let's say my case counts by topic as well. So this is great. You're probably used to looking at these kind of reports, but what if I wanted to actually ask questions of my data as well? And now that's where I'm able, looking at the data contextually aware, I'm able to put up a Q&A maker and ask questions of my data. So now I can actually ask that tell me like the case count by topic, and it's going through and finding out the topics and creating that sort of chart and report for me from scratch, and finding out what is the best way to do it. Okay, let's create a couple of more visuals now, and I'm now going to look at donation data, which in my case sits in the opportunities tab. And so I'm going to create like a quick bar chart, look at the revenue one by maybe campaign name. Then because I have a lot of blanks in here, I'm going to add in a filter as well. And I just care about where I have the right data, because that helps me understand my campaigns better. Then maybe I'm also going to look at another let's say another bar chart, and in this case I want to look at the count of my opportunities which have closed, and maybe in this case I'm going to look at the products as well. So now I've got a little bit of information in here, but normally somebody has to read this out, understand this better as well. What is the data trying to tell me, right? That's always the key. So I could come in here at any point and come and say that analyze this, where is this difference? Or we also got this new smart analysis or smart narrative bit. So if I come in here, it can create like a smart narrative saying that at 224,000, annual campaign had the highest revenue and was this much higher than community raising as well. So this is great to help you understand this better. But then I could also have this. Now if I want to understand my campaigns by products as well, then I could just come in here and add this smart narrative tab. And now in this case it is bringing in information from both both of them. So if I'm just looking at my grants, it's giving me data selected out of that. If I'm looking at major gifts, it's helping me understand that again now just for the major gifts as well. So yeah, that's quite useful. Another couple of quick reports. One is something called key influences, and let's take a quick look at that. So key influences, in my case, maybe I'm going to look at go back to my case information, look at my CSAT by topic. So what causes my CSAT to increase or decrease. Login questions, people hate that. And what are my top segments as well, understanding that better, going into the details of that. Just going to remove this and show you one more thing, which is something called revenue decomposition tree. So in this case I want to look at I want to analyze the value of my overall donations, and then I want to explain it by product and owner. So let's just come in here and go back into the opportunities. No, not that. Analyze the value and then explain it by the who's managing it. So you can see I can also manage this by data from other entities as well. So if I go in, I want to first understand by product, and then following that I want to go into the owner. So this again, very quickly being able to understand the data, and then once this is created, of course, I'm able to look at it in detail from other areas as well. So the final bit of this demo that I want to show you guys is how all of this information is also available on the mobile devices as well. So I'm just going to share my mobile screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to open up the Power BI app. And if I was to open up, say, one of my dashboards, in those cases you'll see this option at the bottom left of the screen called Q&A. When I click on this, I can now start asking it questions. So you'll see some suggestions to get started, but I can start reading out to it as well. So I could do things like show me revenue in pipeline by campaign. And I ask this question, and then it starts to immediately bring in that data for me, but it also comes up and brings about some insights for me as well. So understanding that gifts and donations have noticeably more revenue, so I can ask it to give me that information in more detail as well. All right, that was a quick overview of using Power BI with Dynamics 365 and for nonprofits. Thank you.